Welcome or welcome back to my simple country life. I'm Rebecca, and this was going to be an outdoor video, but we're actually getting a little bit of rain today. I got a little wet getting everything together to bring it inside to work on, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. I feel like maybe y'all are tilted a little bit, but hopefully that won't be too distracting. So I have my 18 little pots here filled with dirt to plant some native plants in, and these are going to go outside. Don't really know what I'm doing, but these could be fall or spring planted, so I thought, well, I would at least try to do starts. And what we have is from Eden Brothers. We have lance leaf coreopsis seeds, sunburst, planting time spring or fall, plant height 36 inches, plant spacing 8 to 12 inches, plant depth 1 to 16th inch. And I do like these because hopefully you can see. I like the information it puts on the back, just very clear, very concise. So I'm probably going to be getting some more seeds from Eden Brothers just because I really like how they're packaged. And that was the lance leaf coreopsis seeds. This is Bee Balm wild bergamot seeds, planting time spring fall, plant height 36 to 48 inches, plant spacing 12 to 8 inches, plant depth 1/16 of an inch. And then from Burpee we have Aster Sea Star mixed colors, and it just says 80 to 90 days to bloom, 24 inches high, plant at a depth of 1/4 inches, and sow in average soil in full sun after danger of heavy frost. In frost-free areas, sow in fall to early spring. So we're coming up on fall. So we're gonna give it a try, and then I've got my little markers to put. So we've got 18 of these. So we're gonna do one row of each seeds. And then also, when I ordered those seeds from Eden Brothers in the spring, I also ordered some yarrow roots mix, 4 per bag, 12 to 24 inches, bloom summer through fall, plant deep enough to cover with 2 inches of soil. Now, I did not get these planted. We are going to soak them in water while I'm planting up this, and then we're going to plant them in some little round pots and see what happens. If they come up, great. If they don't come up, then that's a lesson learned. But I thought, well, I'd at least try to see if they'd come up instead of just automatically throwing them away. So let's see if we can get these open and soaking in water while we do the rest. Let's see if I can untangle these. Ooh, we're going to need a bigger pot. All right, let me get a bigger pot. Okay, so instead of trying to untangle these, I'm just going to dump these in here, and hopefully once they're moisturized, they'll come apart easier. Alrighty. Let me get some more water for that. I'll just be marinating and saturating. Okay, so we're going to set this over to the side. I have this cute little shovel that my mom gave me. Oh, y'all might have noticed I'm wearing my pajama pants because, you know, it's morning. We're not moving fast. We're just trying to get stuff done. So, let's turn this around, and I'm going to put a dry spot on the table. I'm going to dump these seeds out because I only want to plant maybe half the packet, because I would, or maybe just a third of the packet, depending on how many seeds are in it. My hair's looking, sorry about my hair. Anyway, because I would like to try to winter sow these with the, gallon jugs. And I also would like to maybe try direct sowing. But for now, since I'm not too good at judging what seedlings look like and worried about, direct sowing and then pulling them out because I think they're weeds, we're going to try this until I get better at what I'm doing. And this aster, it says it is an annual. But for some reason, I thought they came back every year. Okay, and they're not going to get planted very deep. Maybe a 1/4 inch. Let's do the asters in the middle. So dink, dink. And you don't have to make the dink noise, but I find it helps. I've never done this before. I don't know if it helps or not. I'm just a weirdo. Dink. Okay. Alrighty. These are too tiny. Alright. So let's do 1, 2. Too small to even try to deal with. Okay, there's 3. 3 in that hole. That is our dog, groaning Gidget, or go-go Gidget, or Gidgy Goo Goo. If you hear groaning, it is Gidget. If you hear coughing and wheezing, that's Mickey. If you hear barking, that's Tucker. All right, so that's the aster. Oop, cut them back up. Because I have the attention span of a squirrel, I'll go ahead and put this marker here that this is the asters. So I won't plant that roll again. Excuse me while I get a drink of soda. Alrighty, let's do wild bergamot. It doesn't get planted very deep at all, so we're just going to barely make a dimple. If you barely make a dimple, then you don't make the dink noise. Dimples don't dink. Okay, I feel like that's good. And this is just Miracle-Gro potting mix. And I did add a little bit extra vermiculite into it. This has this little tear here markers, but then I'm going to have to get some scissors. I'm going to have to get some scissors. And thankfully, I've learned how to do some editing so I can cut out some of my trips where I have to walk away from the camera, hopefully. And make this look a little bit more polished. All right, let's see how big these bee balm seeds are. Oh, please tell me I cut it low enough to be open. No, I did not cut it low enough. Take 2. Really, I don't want to cut off where it says that it's bee balm. Eden Brothers, I feel like you're doing me dirty. Why can't I get to the seeds? Aha. Come on. There we go. Ooh, it's a 4 pack. That's kind of nice. Let's see how big these little doodads are. Oh my goodness, they're like grains of pepper. All right, well, we're just going to guesstimate. I'd like to have at least 3 in there, but probably going to be more. I don't know how well these are going to germinate. We're just going to sprinkle. Sprinkle and dab. I was not expecting, for as big as the bee balms get, I'm not expecting their seeds to be so teeny tiny. All right, let's get a few more. Oops, not that many more. That's okay. I'll set that up so that doesn't, so my grains of pepper don't spill. All right, and then hopefully somebody will do something. We'll see. Also, since I'm setting these out in the sun, and I'm going to set in this pan. Oh, and this pan down here, I didn't have a pan to fit this. I'd gone native plant shopping, and I'd bought enough. Well, I bought 16 plants, and this holds 18s, but then I found 2 more squares that would fit in here. So I got this part that has holes in the bottom. All of that from the native plant sale with plants in them. My YouTube patron saint, Catherine, my sissy, ordered me some bottom trays that'll fit this. So, you like that little pun? Yeah, I told y'all I'm goofy. But anyway, I thought it was cute. Catherine, my sissy. Alrighty, and so that's the bee-ball. That's there. And, alrighty, and so this is also a 1/16 of an inch, so we just do a little dimple. Do a little dimple. Do a little dimple. All right, so we've learned to cut this down lower. Let's see how big the coreopsis seeds are. It's okay, Mickey Bug. Okay, they're a nice size. Ow! That's my elbow. And that's why I have bruises all the time. Okay. So, coreopsis seeds. Cover. Coreopsis seeds. And I'll probably put about 3 or 4 of these in each hole. Stop there, okay. And 3 or 4 there. All right, so that's this. I will mist the top, and I will fill the bottom with water and set it out on my new purple painted potting bench. That's dirt, not seeds. All right, I'm going to have to let Mr. Mickey out. He needs to go outside. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and take this outside. So I'll be back, and we'll start doing the yarrow. Let me get away. The roots on the yarrow were bigger than I thought they were going to be. So I went and got some bigger cans. So we'll do our best here. Should not have done that because, like I said, the roots are pretty big. So let's just do that. I'm just making a little well in the bottom of the dirt. I'm pulling out this one really big root. And that's going to go down in the well, and it wants to be planted 2 inches deep, so I'm holding it down 2 inches. Just about. I'm going to dump in the dirt. We're going to make a mess. We're going to lightly pack it around the roots. And this is dry soil, so when I water it, it'll get out all the air pockets around the roots. Okay. So let's say that's. This and say, Mickey, honey, I don't know what you want. I don't know why you're whining, but I wish you'd stop. All right, so that's 1 yarrow root planted. All right, we're going to put a little dirt in the bottom of this one. We're going to wiggle loose another root. Let's see. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So that's a root. that's a root. And is there another root in there? Oh yeah, that's not very big though, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and plant it up. Plant it up. Alright, yeah. Okay, so you go down in there. About 2 inches down, they're empty. Okay, I'm going to pull it around the roots. Or this around the roots. Okay, we're going to do that. Go ahead and use up the rest of this. Get rid of that bowl. Alright, yeah, we're going to have to get some more dirt. For sure and for certain. And Mickey Bug's just going to be a little whiny bag. For whatever reason. Okay. 2 yarrow roots. And I'll probably end up dumping the dirt out of the bottom of this because that's going to bother me. Alright, a little bit of dirt in the bottom for the root. Set down into. Another root. Alright, which one's the, okay, there's the top of that one. Nice roots. Nice roots. Okay, and I can always, and I probably will order these again because I really do love yarrow, and I love that this is kind of like a mixed color situation. So, put that packed around the roots. Mickey Bug, what's wrong? You mad the cat won't play with you? Alright. That's 3 yarrow plants planted. Let's just go ahead and do that and make a mess, but that's what vacuum cleaners are for. Are you empty? Yes, you're empty. Okay, so 3 yarrow plants planted. And last one. Last one, and it's the smallest one, so let's go ahead and put some more dirt down in the bottom of this. Let's go get some more dirt. Right back. Okay. This last little root. I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's the top. I don't feel anything else in there except for some mud. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one planted. Approximately 2 inches deep. Alright, so that's all planted. I think it's quit raining. I'm going to get it all cleaned up in here, and I'll take you outside and we'll get the purple painted potting bench set up with the plants. And there she is, folks, all painted up and ready to be accessorized. Let me get you moved over to where you won't be having to look at my pajama clad bottom getting this loaded up. Just a second. Okay, up here at the top, I've got this little wine bottle holder, and I thought that would be cute to put our propagated Rose of Sharon cuttings in. And I will go ahead and put the video of that propagation here. Okay, I found 2 glass vases I can use for water propagation, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuttings. I'm going to try to find one more glass vase so I can have 2 in each vase, although I probably could put more in this wide one. But basically, I'm going to cut these down, strip off the lower leaves. And I might actually be able to make more than 6 cuttings because they're not all going to root. So let me go hunt around for another vase and see where we get. Okay, I'm uncertain is if this is the right or wrong way to do this, but what I'm doing is I'm cutting right below a leaf node, and then I'm stripping off all the leaves that would be in the water in the jar, and then I'm going to fill these with water and I'm going to set them outside. So I have a couple vases and some makeshift ones, so I want to try to do, I think, 2 per jar, so I'll show them when they're outside. Okay, so I have 8 cuttings from the white Rose of Sharon hibiscus bush, white flowers with red centers. So I'll just keep them out here in these glass jars and keep the water filled up and keep an eye on them. Any ones, some of them have blooms at the top, so I snip those off because we don't want them worrying about blooms. We want them worrying about making roots. And now we're going to put the bottles in. Alright, so these are a propagated Rose of Sharon. I'm just putting them in here just for a little extra stabilization and cuteness. I did have to switch out the mason jar to this Red Lobster tailback stolen glass because the mason jar was too big to fit in here. And then this is a jar, this is a glass, it was paid for, and my sister will remember this. We went to a Mexican restaurant and the drinks were served in these, and you got to keep the glass. We thought that was cool, and I thought, well, that makes a good little propagation vase. And I like having them in the clear vases so I can see if they're starting to root. And let's see, and then this is just a vase, just a clear vase that is heavy when full with water. Oh, whoops. Okay, so there we go. Those are set up there. And then I'm going to put these that we just potted up, and then put them on this shelf. And if I need to move them to a lower shelf, once they start germinating, I will, but I thought, well, that might give them a little protection from birds or whatever when they do start coming up. Let me go get the other pan of the yarrow, and I've still got to get it watered, so I'll be right back. Okay, I set that pan right here in the corner. And I'll go ahead and fill the bottom of this with water a little bit. And so then we'll just decorate this, and that's going to take me a while because I'll be piddling around, but I'll bring you back to show you the end result. Okay, this is what we're working with. Have the propagating Rose of Sharon on the top. Have the seeds for the bee balm, coreopsis, and aster on the second row. The yarrow roots there with some decor. And I've got another one of those balls I may move down here with the stars. Down here we have watering cans, bird seed. Down here we have extra potting cans and extra terracotta watering spikes. Had this little wine stand thing that I put my empty wine bottles, and those will be used with the terracotta spikes, like so, to water plants, and I need to put some water in that. So there's my potting bench. I'm very happy with it, and I told my husband, I said, we've got room for another one on the other side. This table's going to be getting moved, so we've got room. So anyway, there we have it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them below. Thank you for stopping by. Please like and subscribe, and y'all come back.